Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one county in our region is in mourning after a house fire took the life of a young child. And an Eastern Kentucky community remembers the life of a beloved coach and the impact he had on the students who will carry on his memory.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. 5:34 here. I'm Dakota Makris, and it's Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. And I don't know about y'all, and I don't know if Brandon agrees with me or not. I think this weather that's moving through is kind of keeping me tired, but I had some sweet potato casserole during sports, and it really just made my morning. So now I'm, second win now.
Hey, listen, good for you.
I know you don't really like sweet potato casserole or sweet potatoes, but
there's a lot of things that are on my not so nice list there on that one. But yeah, so we talked about cranberry sauce yesterday. I actually got a message from a viewer like, "What are you talking about?" Just can't do it.
Yeah, someone messaged me too. They were like, "Make sure Brandon gets like a whole heap of cranberry sauce." I was like, "We didn't have any."
No.
But you just wait. I'll get you some for Christmas.
Well, it'll just go in the garbage. Anyway, let's talk about our forecast this morning as we take a look at some rain chances that are moving through parts of the region. Let's take a look the last few hours, and you see some heavy rain pockets coming into play. But look up toward Lexington and Moorhead. Already a little bit of winter mix, even some snow up that way this morning, so be extra careful. I need to pull up that Moorhead camera and see what's going on there this morning along I-64. But in our area, it's just heavy pockets of rain. You've got one near Moorhead. You've got one coming into Jackson, or actually it kind of fell apart coming into Jackson and Hazard there a little bit. We have one back out toward London, heading toward parts of Jackson County and over toward Lee and Owsley counties, and then one coming up from parts of the Lake Cumberland area toward I-75. So just be careful out there this morning. Even if your temperatures are above where they need to be, and they're going up a little bit more there, 34 Prestonsburg, Hazard, still 33 Manchester, 36 in Moorhead, but 33 in Ashland and 31 in Clintwood. You got to be above 35 to keep that transition from happening. But everybody should be above 35 as we head deeper in the morning. We're heading into the low to mid 40s today. May not make it into the mid 40s, but again, we'll keep you posted as we get a little bit closer in. But it's going to be a dreary day. It's going to be an overcast day, and be ready to take your rain gear with you when you head out the door this morning. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you. A candlelight vigil was held Monday night on the University of Virginia's South Lawn in Charlottesville. Thousands attended to pay their respects to honor the three student athletes who were tragically shot and killed Sunday night. Those students were Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. The silent vigil was a time for quiet reflection to mourn the lives lost there due to the tragic events that unfolded.
And this was the first time I'd seen that many students one place, and all just being there with each other in that silence, reflecting on who we are, reflecting on what happened, and just doing what we can to be there for each other. I think that alone was incredibly moving.
Well, the suspect accused of shooting these students is a student and a former UVA athlete himself. After a manhunt, 22-year-old Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. was found and arrested in a suburban in Richmond, about 80 miles from campus. A 10-year-old is dead after a house fire in Middlesboro. Our Chandler Wilcox tells us how the community is responding to that tragedy.
Middlesboro Emergency Management responded to a house fire that killed a 10-year-old and left 5 others with non-life-threatening injuries. The tragedy has left people in Middlesboro in shock.
I found this out last night. I haven't slept all night. I'm just truly heartbroken.
The fire engulfed almost everything the family owned as it burned through the foundation.
They lost the clothes. The only thing they have left is clothes on their back. We've arranged through one of our local churches, Shiloh Church, has arranged to get them housing and provide food and a place to stay.
The 10-year-old who could not escape the flames was Mark Smolik, a 5th grader at Middlesboro Middle School. Jones says the other students are heartbroken.
It's hard to tell other 10-year-olds that their friend's not going to be there.
Teachers and counselors have tried to be a comfort for students as they fight through the shock.
They've been busy all morning. They have really helped the kids, and it seems like the mood is starting to change a little bit.
A cause for the fire has yet to be announced. Shiloh Church in Middlesboro is taking donations for the family. In Middlesboro, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Funeral arrangements for Mark Somlick have not been announced. At least one person is dead after a crash in Pulaski County. Kentucky State Police say the crash involved a semi-truck and a small car on Kentucky Highway 635 traveling towards Casey County. The names of those involved have not been released. We will, of course, keep you updated on this story as we learn more. On Monday, there was a crash involving 2 cars on Highway 15 in front of the Double Quick gas station here in Hazard. Officers with the Hazard Police Department say a black Chevy Sonic was merging onto the bypass when a white Jeep Wrangler was turning left from the Double Quick. The 2 cars crashed into each other, causing a passenger from the white Jeep and the driver from the black Chevy Sonic to be taken to Hazard ARH for non-life-threatening injuries.
There was a couple injuries. 2 people got transported. It's still currently under investigation. I've got the information for the report, and I'm supposed to be getting footage of the wreck a little bit later on today through my email and speaking with a couple witnesses.
Well, the cause of the crash is still being investigated by the Hazard Police Department. Patrolman Davis urges everyone to obey all traffic signals and pay close attention. One Southern Kentucky man is facing a host of charges following a weekend assault that ended in a chase. While police were heading to a domestic violence call, they were told the suspect, who was later identified as 37-year-old Dustin Daffron of Monticello, had left the scene. When a deputy found the truck, officials say Daffron refused to stop and took off on Highway 833. Police say he finally pulled over at a home on the highway but refused to follow directions from police, and they had to physically take control of Daffron to arrest him. He is charged with assault, resisting arrest, and fleeing or evading police, and was taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. Well, the U.S. Marshals Service says an inmate who escaped from the Federal Correctional Institution in Beckley, West Virginia, is now back in custody. Kevin Davis was captured around 7 p.m. Monday by members of the U.S. Marshals and Cuff Task Force. Investigators say he was hiding in a wooded area not far from the prison grounds. He was convicted in East Tennessee for conspiring to distribute 5 grams or more of meth. He was sentenced to 27 months and housed at FCI in Beckley. Officials with one Southern Kentucky Sheriff's Office are warning the public about a new phone scam that is a new take on an old tactic. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office posted on its Facebook page, the caller claims they are a police officer, sometimes giving the name of Detective Sellers or Sergeant Gibson. We are told neither are employees there. Officials say the scammer claims that the potential victim is having some type of legal issue. In these instances, we are told the scammer had the potential victim's personal information and demanded a gift card for bond. Officers say they will not discuss your personal information over the phone and will not ask you to get a gift card to pay for anything. Deputies believe the scammer called from a local number ending in 6579, but say it could be any number and usually looks like a legit local number. Well, people across the region are mourning the loss of Somerset football coach Robbie Lucas. He led the Briar Jumpers to a state championship in 2019, and his friends told us he exemplified greatness, hard work, and being a servant leader. He played on several great football teams in Lincoln County, where he got his start on the gridiron.
That's where he got his start, right here at Lincoln County on this gridiron, and then went on to greatness that he had at Somerset, winning a state championship. That is a storybook ending for a high school football team to win the way they did back in 2019. He was just, again, just bragging on the kids. He didn't take any of the credit whatsoever. I waited till maybe later on that night or something to give him a call or a text, and he didn't want any credit. He just wanted to say, look, it's all about the kids. They did it, my coaching staff.
Well, officials with Somerset Schools say he was an outstanding coach, an excellent teacher, and an even better person. Monday night, football teams across the state turned their stadium lights on in honor of the late coach. Well, just ahead this morning, a well-known comedian is recovering from injuries after a gasoline fire left him with serious burns.
And while rain chances are the big story today, the cold will be the headlines for much of this week. I have the latest in about 3 minutes.